We're going to add our constraints and our loads into this. So by adding a constraint and load in there, we can come in and into our load case, into our study, and add our loads and constraints. And that's what those buttons here do with the structural constraints and structural loads. So I'm going to turn off my obstacle geometry right now. And I'm going to add, right now you can see there's a load on here that's actually this is gravity load. It automatically comes in. Of course, everything's going to be, gravity is going to apply to everything, so I'll keep that on. But if you if you wanted to actually make this to be used on Mars or some other location, or on whatever, you can actually change those magnitudes and everything in here too, and change those units. All right, so when I'm going to come in, I'm going to say I'm going to add a constraint in here, and we've got our different constraints: fixed, pin, frictionless, or remote. I'm just going to add a fixed pin constraint on this, and I'm just going to select that target inside there and hit OK. Now that's fixed in place on that. And we can add other types of constraints if we wanted to, depending on your design. You can add those in. You can have multiple in there. So there's our load case, and with our load case, this is going to be like I said, we have multiple load cases. We have the load case up 30 degree and negative 30 degree. Now, with this, I'm just going to add the load case up and then switch over to my next one with all the load cases. But I can show you how these work here. So with this load case, I'm going to pop in that, and let me pop in my information here. Make sure we got that. Okay. So I'm going to pop in the loads, and I'm going to say, okay, this is going to be a force. But we've got other loads in here. We got pressure, moment, bearing loads, remote force, and remote moment loads in there. So I'm going to hit the force, and I'm going to select my target, and it's going to be inside of that in here. And you can see that it points directly up. So that's going to be our structural load going up at that point. Of course, we've got the rotation icons here that we can use to rotate our loads around. That would be how you would add the negative 30 and 30 by using the degree angles here. That's how you would add those different loads in there for one. It rolls along. You can add the loads at different angles inside of there. So I'm going to hit that, and yeah, we'll say, okay, this is a magnitude of 200 pounds force. And I can add multiple loads to both of these as well. So let me undo that, and I can show you. So I can add both loads to that. So I can say the inside of that and inside of that to both of those, and say, yep, 200. Okay. So if we look at that now, we've got our force there on that. Now for the load cases, I can right click and I can clone that one, or I can say new load case and just redo the load. If I clone it, it will actually clone that. I can rename these by slow clicking on these and say that's load case up. Maybe this is load case 30 degrees. And with this one here, I can activate that and say, all right, now this load is going to be, not this force, and we can say this is going to be, and I can even take a look and see, yeah, negative 30 degree angle. And I can then do that same thing for the 30 degree angle.